That midlife restlessness you start to feel around 40, a little bit after 40, it doesn't have to become a midlife crisis. It might become a crisis if you ignore it, or maybe if you make some foolish choices. But that childish man that's still inside of you isn't who you have to be. You don't have to become the cliche. What if you saw it instead as a call to purpose, call to something bigger and deeper? What if it was more like a midlife reboot, so that you could be the man that God made you to be, but even more so? Got a friend recently who just came alive. You could just see it. My dog is tearing around. This friend, though, he came alive. It was like he said no one day to the drudgery and the day-to-day, I'm just going to live a boring life and have it be just getting by. And he said no to that. And all of a sudden he starts leading. All of a sudden he starts trying to guide his family after years and years of just getting by, of just letting them do their own thing. All of a sudden he is taking his work seriously. All of a sudden he's filling in with his community and helping out at church in new ways and getting new ideas. And man, you could just see the glint in his eye. And it was amazing. It's inspiring. Here's the kicker. That man was 81 when that happened. And he is now living with more purpose and more encouragement to others and more impact on younger generations than most guys in their 30s. There's a deer down the valley, a whitetail jumping and flying away as he sees me. It's beautiful. I just hope the dog doesn't see it. Yeah, he's still watching me. He's just snuffing. Or she, it's too far away to tell. Anyway, this friend comes alive. He's 81 years old. And I have to ask myself the question, why can't I do that now? Why can't I commit to my purpose and have that much energy and that much vitality because I'm doing the thing I'm supposed to be doing? Why not? Why not you? Why not me? So I've been thinking through that as I've been wrestling with God's call, wrestling with his new ideas, with his new efforts. And I got to admit, I've been feeling it for years. I've been feeling that those midlife doldrums going, man, what did I do with the last 20 years? I don't want to act like a 20-year-old again. But what did I do? Did I accomplish the things I set out to? Yeah, some of them, but not a lot of them. Well, I don't know. I'd have to count them up. But not everything. And certainly not some of the ones that mean the most to me, that put the most joy in my life. Certainly not the ones that mean the most for my family and their livelihood. That's changing now. Here I am. I am embracing this mission. I am. I'm going to embrace it because that is what we are called to do. God made us a certain way. Let's do it. Let's be that guy. And I'm thinking about habits now, not as discipline or not as discipline or diligence. Those are good things. Not as specifically discipline, but as something else. As a skill tree. Whoa. Thinking about that as a skill tree. Thinking about all the things that I need to level up on in order to fulfill the main mission that I've got, which is to love God and love others, to be a writer who glorifies God in what I put out, creator who does that, an artist who does that, and then a family man, a dad, and a husband who helps my family learn to glorify God. At the same time, there's plenty of good warnings out there. I've always been a guy who looks at other people and says, ooh, that wasn't a good idea. Don't do that. King Manasseh comes to mind. If you've never heard about him, he was a king of Israel, Judah, the southern kingdom. You don't need to know all that. But 2 Kings 21 is where you'll find his story. The first time, he's also in Chronicles, but 2 Kings 21, where King Manasseh is not a good dude. He's a bad king, and he is constantly leading his family and his country astray. He is the ultimate sinner in many ways. He's an idolater. He's got no righteousness. He's not a guy you want to be. Even though his dad was a good guy. His dad was a good king. His dad was a righteous king. Manasseh changed right at the end of his life. And all of a sudden he decided he wanted to be more like his dad. I want to be that guy. I want to be the guy who makes the right call early. And I've made a lot of good calls. I've made a lot of mistakes too. And I'd rather increase the good calls and reduce the mistakes before I feel like it's too late and I regret it. I also don't want to be those kings who were just status quo kings. Guys who let things ride. Guys who just went with the flow. I want to actually make things better. So I'm challenging myself with this skill tree idea. And I'm breaking it up into five branches. If you're a gamer like I used to be more often, you gotta think about that. So I learned these 5 branches from my own dad. And they're easy to remember because there's 5 F's. Faith is the first one. It's the foundation. Faith. In faith, I am working on prayer this year and making that more of a habit, making that more of something that I do consciously and personally in order to meet with God and hear from him, really, to get guidance through his word and through time with him. Next one's family, faith family. And as a dad and a husband, I'm trying to be more intentional about spending good quality time with each of my family members as they enjoy it. You know, getting into the Legos, if that's what they're into, getting into the building, getting into the arts or the music as they are. And so, yeah, I'm trying to join them as they learn these things. I'm trying to sacrifice for my wife and for my kids as well, so that, and not sacrifice in the way that, so that they can have something better, but so they can have a good time with me. That's what they really want. They want the good time with me. And so, yeah, I'm going to knock off work a little bit earlier than I might otherwise as an entrepreneur, and make sure that I have good office hours. I'm not just going to blow through dinner time and say that, I had to work so that I could provide. Like, no, I want to be there. I'm going to be at the games. I'm going to take my wife out for dates. Not that I haven't before, but I'm going to be more intentional about it. Fitness and health is the other one. Fitness is kind of an all-around thing for not just the physical, not just the physical fitness, but for the readiness is another word I might use for that. So, yeah, we're doing target practice. We're taking the dog out. We're going on hikes. we're getting stronger and leveling up in those ways so that, hey, I sit in a chair for most of my work. I'm not out working on the fields where I would be physically fit. So I need to catch up. Since 2020, I've lost 60 pounds and kept it off, but I'm not as strong as I'd like to be. And so that's what I'm working on. I'm not as good of a shot as I'd like to be. So I'm working on that for hunting season. I'm getting conditioned. All this stuff is good. Finances, that's the next one. Man, we've been blessed. We're not rich, but we've been blessed. I have the opportunity to do some side gig work as a creative and to try and make it more of my work. And I've got the time and the ability to do that. And I've got a supportive wife. But man, if I could make that, even if it restricts us financially, if I could make it where the creative became the main work, the main career path, I would just do so much for our family and for my walk with God, for me. And I would be giving to the world my best. And the last one's fun. Faith, family, fitness, finances, fun. And the fun one, my brother likes to say freedom. But the fun one, skill tree there, is just figuring out ways to enjoy what we got, enjoy this beautiful world, without just zoning out in front of the TV or playing the video games nonstop like I did when I was 20 and 25. And let's be honest, 30 and 35. And helping my kids see that there's much, much better in the world than just doing that goofy stuff. Not that it doesn't have its place. It can be a lot of fun, but I've definitely conquered my addiction on that. And I'd like to show my kids how to avoid the addiction on things like that. So that's it. That's my skill tree. Actually, this walking and talking and videos is a big part of the skill tree because it fits into the career and finances side. If I can get words out better, if I can get drafts out while I'm walking, I don't record every walk. So I record it on this little thing here on my chest and transcribe it so that I can have a draft easier than just sitting down at the computer. So there's that. But man, that's it. That's my challenge. Challenge to myself. I'm walking it out here in the world where you can see it. If you're feeling it too, if you're feeling that restlessness around 40 or 45 or 50, and you're like, man, I need to level up. I need to do a reboot rather than a crisis. Join me. Make your own curriculum. Tell me about it in the comments. What kind of skill tree do you got? What are the projects you're working on that you're going to level up for your life mission? Shoot, tell me your life mission, man. Join this little fellowship we're going to build here. And let's be the men that the younger generation needs. If it's all right, I'll pray for you. Lord, let this be a wake-up call for these men who hear this, that they don't have to fall for the cliche and the lie that they can just drift off into the night as they get older, but that they can be a light to others. Encourage them, give them courage, put a heart back in them. Amen. That's all I got for this walk. God bless.